Good evening, good people. I'm so glad to be in your midst this evening. For the purpose of those who are joining us for the first time, I will introduce myself. I am Irene Osua Teido, a member of Ebenezer Methodist Church, and a licensed counseling psychologist. I've registered with the Ghana Psychology Council and also a member of Ghana National Association of Certificated Counselors and also a member of GPA, that's Ghana Psychology Association. So with that, then we set the ball rolling. You are all once again welcome. This evening we are talking or discussing communication in marriage and relationship. In marriage and relationship, because we have two categories of people within our group here. We have the married and the unmarried. So I believe there are some of you who are shopping for spouses and some who are already, they have shopped and they have selected and they are courting. That's why we added the relationship to it. So let your questions flow, and by the grace of God, we'll be able to help you answer the questions that are bothering you. So once again, you are welcome, and let me have your questions. Thank you.
Hello, Auntie Irene. Is it always that as I say, nipa baako no solve a problem, nipa baako na say baako bufua onkwa na ogina no? Is it the right thing to do? Thank you.
Say in a relationship, no way nipa mi. And say nyaba ko na wo say bibia no. No, before and to on the rest of the problem. No, it doesn't work like that. And so that's why we have what we call conflict resolution, how we resolve conflicts. You know, there are all kind of style of handling. There are some people that is their attitude. Whenever there's a conflict or if you want to bar, now what we baby or stress about. Ebefa bonebo na wa ba be pacho na wa ba be yesi abeyesi ba nya sa na wo se eye no se ba ne se ye resolve asem de wo se nyina na ka bom ne resolve na ni nyina ye nkyerɛkyerɛ nti ye obi bi a ye frɛ no building relationship through conflict, a topic I am start building relationship through conflict, where we look at ye share styles and for approaches and for styles and also approach and for use to handle conflict. Some of the approaches are right, but there were proper ways of resolving conflicts. And it's also another issue on it too. Thank you. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Sometimes when you are with your partner and there's kind of boring time, just try to bring some little fun so that you just refresh up the conversation. But it's like, what they buy now, how do you deal with such situations? They take something seriously, don't down just yet. Like I said, so look at it, please. Let me understand so much for that situations. Thank you.
The fact that nipa no, ebi a wofo say why board into the BB Bama, enija ba na mo asese na nipa no afa ne serious. Wo de quarrel ne buy na nipa na afa ne serious na ne time. Of course, we be the BB foforo ba enye entokasem. Okay, there are so many things I'm meeting me account once and my infant or Emma. Oh, anything and I make a baby far person and the panic soup. A woman young as I said. I will say, yes, to me, who ni panic soup. See who ni panic soup. A bed boy Emma. So who ni panic soup, a bed boy mouth. Which me who said I wanted a bet na is yafa. Until I see a bed pem rainy, soon bibi afa nipa is suho. See, soon bibi fanny pass suho. A bit me ama. Yati nipa no ase enti instead say wo de bibi eye ntokwa beba no be fa bibi eye agroso ana bibi beba nipa ne ni age na wo de aba na ama nipa no so sa boredom no afri ho enti no ena maka ne be pemre ni esua nipa so se esua nipa no so a ene so betimi aboai enye time bia na ba ko fa bibi eye ntokwa wo betimi afa agro di bi eye ntokwa na de aba ne yetimi nyina yetimi aseresere afa me das. if you know your spouse's temperament, then you understand why the person behaves the way he or she behaves. And under temperament, we have ways of managing mood swings. So let's maybe that's a whole topic or lesson on its own. But then for now, I'll ask you to study the person's temperament. When you understand who the person really is, then you'll be able to manage. But if you don't understand, there will always be confusion. I think, like I mentioned in the audio, that we will have to study temperament, personality, temperament, our differences. Then we'll be able to appreciate each other better, and so you'll be able to manage it well. But then I'll address that later, because I've seen a lot of questions coming. But if I go into temperament, it will take us the whole night. So let me address the questions coming, then I will take time. If we have time at the end, tail of the way, I will address that. Other than that, we can talk one-on-one. Thank you. The Bible says that, and the two were naked and they were not ashamed. Like I always say, that one thing that we cherish so much in this world that we don't want to share with anybody is our body. That is why even at this age, when your mother, you are naked, or you just come from the bathroom and you are dressing, and your mom or your daddy is coming to you, you are like, Mommy, wait, let me finish dressing up. Because even those who are your parents, you don't want them to see your body. So your body, but then you are able to allow your spouse to see your nakedness without feeling ashamed. So if your body that you treasure so much, you've been able to share with your spouse, then what else is there that you cannot share with your spouse? But then it depends on, like I always say, it depends on the information that you have. If the information is something that will affect your relationship or your marriage, definitely your spouse should be able to know. You can't hide, because there's nothing like secrets. No matter how long you keep it, it one day come up. But then there are certain things that really it will not have anything to do with your marriage. It will not have, there are certain issues that whether you say it or you don't say it, doesn't really carry weight. It doesn't affect the relationship. And if you think it's not necessary, that one, there's nothing wrong. But anything that you think will affect the relationship, if you withhold, will affect the relationship, you have to share. It's important, because if the person gets to know later, he will lose all the trust he has for you, and that will be serious. Thank you. There are certain information, if you keep and you think you are trying to protect your relationship, rather you are destroying the relationship. But when it comes to light, and I've not lived for long on this, but I don't know anything that has been kept secret before. But one day it will come out. And when it comes out, that marriage that you want to protect, you lose it. So if the information will have an effect on the marriage, if you withhold it, then please share it with your wife. It is better to share with your spouse for him or her to get angry with you, and hey, when he gets angry, you will still come back, and then you will even appreciate the fact that you didn't hide it from him. You didn't hear, or him or her did not hear it from a third person, but heard it from you directly. That even show respect that you have for that person. So I believe it's good you share. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Thank you. Hello, sure. If a careful study of the temperament shows that each and every one of us have our weaknesses and our strength. And you could see that if you have studied the temperament well or personality well, you realize that some people have mood swings. 1 minute they are happy, the next moment they are sad. So sometimes you are with them and you can't even tell what is happening, because you are happy now, the next moment you don't know, then all of a sudden that person goes moody. And then you are trying to find out, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? And the person can't even tell you why he or she is behaving that way. And example of such people temperament is the melancholy. You know, I'm sure you know about that, the melancholy especially. Their mood swings change quickly, and then the sanguine also. And so if you know that this is how this person is, when the person gets, you are there with the person, 1 minute she's happy, then the next moment she's moody, you just leave the person to be, because you know that is how she is, or he or she is. Because once he's in that mood, the person himself does not even know what he's going through. It is part, and sometimes he will say it and he tell you there's nothing wrong with her. She has not changed his mood, because it is his nature which he doesn't even know. And so you just leave so that's why you need to study each other. As you say, as you are there, you have your own strength and weakness. You also have your own weaknesses, and none of the personality is better than the other, because we all have our weaknesses and our strength. So whenever if you know that this my wife is this type, and at this moment she's like this, and then whenever they are down, you just let them be. And those people, they quickly change. So you will be 1 minute moody, the next moment she's laughing all over the place. So when he comes around, you also come around. When he's moody, you just leave, because the more you try to find out why he's moody, you want to talk, then the person flares up, and so you let the person be. So you give that person a space when you see that the person is moody. And there are therapies and things that we take such people through. That's why I said I want to know. So once you know that the person quickly, when you change mood, you also just leave, and you'll be there, and then the person, you don't mind the person, and you come around. But when they change mood and you try to find out why they are like that, then you rather infuriate them and they get angry and misbehave. Excuse my language. Sometimes they will behave abnormally. But then there are therapies for those mood swings that we use to work on them, for them to come around. Thank you. I don't know if I've been able to help. These are all issues of personality, temperament. So when the person is shy, but then you are the outspoken, and you see, it is interesting. Many a times, the same temperament don't attract the other. A shy person will attract a loud person, because the things that he or she cannot do, she finds it in a loud person, so he will want to get closer to such a person. So then, if the person is the shy type, but you are the talking type, you have to engage that person in things that are of interest to that person. Because if the person doesn't like talking, he's the shy type, but then you like talking, and then all the issues you bring, are not something that he or she is interested in, you will not get him to communicate. So for such a person, you have to study the person, know the things that he likes. So for instance, if it's a woman or a man and he loves football, if you want to draw his attention or you want to get him into communication, you start from his interest, where he loves more. Then you how was the last match between so and so? If you know his team, then you answer. Then from there you are generating. Then gradually you will be pulling him or her along. Thank you. Inferiority complex and unforgiveness are two different things altogether. Okay, inferiority complex is something that you are belittling yourself. It's lack of confidence. And that's why every human being, once you are a child of God, you only have to carry yourself high. You have to be assertive of yourself, know who you are, understand who you are, and then carry yourself that way. But the moment you have inferiority complex, then that is where you are not able to come out with the gift that God has endowed in you for you to be who you are. And that is why unforgiveness comes in. And then because you yourself, you don't see yourself, so you are so hard on yourself, you can't even forgive yourself. So if you can't forgive yourself, how can you forgive your spouse or somebody when he offends you? It's because you can't give what you don't have. So inferiority complex is a very serious thing, and anybody that finds himself should seek help from a counseling psychologist or a psychologist or anybody, or a counseling psychologist, so that they help you, because it's not good and it doesn't boost your morale in life. Thank you. That was the more reason why I said that in the audio. I said that when you are talking to people, you should observe them very well, so that if the person is telling you there's nothing wrong, he's okay, but you could feel from his actions, the body language, that there's something wrong with that person. Well, all you can do is, okay, maybe you don't want to talk about it now, because sometimes when people are worried, at that moment they cannot talk about the issue. Like they can't say into two crani. It say nipa no bibi hye so amunamu e bia na sa bre na umpeso be ka so peso nya space, peso what he wants to do. So you give the person space, your spouse space, give him space. And then later you come back to it. When the person is calmed down, he's cool, then you are like, oh, the other day or yesterday, I saw that you were not, things were not right with you, but then I didn't want to bother you. So can we share? And then the person in his right now, the person can think through it. At least he has been able to calm whatever, her nerves and everything down. So the person will be able to share with you. So you don't just leave it like that. You find a nice way and then try to get into the person to see what is bothering the person, what is eating the person up, so that any help you can offer that person, you offer your spouse. Thank you. Actually, nagging is a problem with a number of us women. Okay. And so that's why sometimes the men say that we do nag. It's true. When I married, earlier part of my marriage, I was also nagging, but later I grew out of it. And so now I'm no more nagging. Because the moment you start nagging, you don't see any good thing in your spouse. Anything the person does, you have a problem with it. And so when you continue doing it, you don't see the good things about the person. So the person is like, well, whatever I do, she doesn't even see. So then let me be. And so you may lose the opportunity to have a good communication with you, because he knows that anytime you open your mouth, you are going to nag. So that is why we are studying all these things. So when you are able to, when we learn proper communication skills, we'll even talk to and share our feelings, our ideas, our opinions without nagging. We'll carry our messages across for our spouses to understand us and appreciate us, so that there will always be peace in the home, so that the nagging and all those things will be a thing of the past. Thank you. Sure, you can have, there's no person who falls within just one category of temperament, personality temperament. And let me give you a brief definition of, because I've seen somebody, all kinds of definitions, which are all right. Temperament is basically inborn. It's something that you inherit from your parents. So temperament is inborn. You come out with it. And so when you come to the world, the environment shapes your temperament. So for instance, we have all seen children who, when they are born and they start talking and walking, when they pick when you pick their toy, or you take something that belongs to them, or they want something and you don't give it to them, they will start throwing temper tantrums, scattering their toys and just crying and rolling on the floor. Then you see the mommy and daddy will say, no, that is not right. So the more they say that is not right and they try to teach the child the correct, you see that the child will grow and then he will stop this temper tantrums. And so what have they done? The environment has come to shaping the temperament, the inborn thing that he came to this world with. So the education, religion, the church, our schools, the family, friends, they all have influence on us. So when the environment builds upon your temperament, then it gives you your personality. So personality is a combination of your inborn traits and environmental factors which have acted on it to shape it and give you who you are. So the moment the environment shapes your temperament, it gives you your personality, and that is what you exhibit. It is seen in the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, and the way you behave and in everything. So somebody will say that, oh, this guy has this temperament simply because this person has this personality. Personality that has nothing to do with your physical appearance. No, it is your temperament plus the environmental factors which has shaped your temperament to give you your personality. Thank you. So you realize that you see somebody who is a sanguine, but then you see a little melancholy in that person. So it cuts across, but then in every given time you see yourself in one particular temperament. That one is so domineering in your attitude and personality, and so that gives you your temperament. But then you can see one or two from the other temperaments in you, and that is why we even have combination of temper. We have the sanguine, melancholy, we have all those things. We have all kinds of combinations. So at appropriate time, temperament is a very personality is a very important topic that we need to understand, so that we'll be able to live at peace with all men and with our spouses. Thank you. And for such a person, I think you really have to help the person by talking to a counselor psychologist, because it's not something that he will stop one day. We need to work on that person. It's not a day, because it's something that it is part of the person, so it will take some time for you to work on that person. So if you really love the person so much and you want to help, talk to a counselor psychologist, and the person it will help you, and the person will come out and you enjoy your partner. Thank you. In marriage, we are one. The Bible says that God created both male and female in his own image. So in marriage, none of us is superior than the other. And the wife is, God said it was not good for man to live alone, so I will give him a helpmate. So a helpmate is someone who is coming to help you achieve your dreams and aspirations. So if you can't share your vision with that person, how can the person help you? That is why you need to have a good communication relationship with your helpmate, that's your wife, to be able to help you achieve your dreams. Otherwise, your dreams will not be fulfilled, because she is supposed to come to your life to come and help you achieve that dream. That's why God created that place, for a companionship. Marriage was for companionship, and the wife is there as your companion, is there to help you. So it cannot be possible that you would know everything and therefore you have to be bossy. But then, when you look at temperament, you see all these things are coming. That's what I said. It's very important to look. We have to take a very close look at temperament. If we understand temperament, some of these problems will be a thing of the past. Because naturally, the choleric naturally is a born leader. And so if the choleric is not handled well, he will become a bully. And then he want to control everybody, and he will even take it to marriage. That is why we need to study this personality temperament I'm talking about. It's very, very important to study it. When we study these things and we understand who we are, and I know who I am, then I will be able to know how to relate to other people, so that I will not be bossy over that person. You cannot have a very fruitful marriage when one of you is being bossy over the other. And then it's also wrong for you to deny your spouse sex as punishment. It's never done. Even the Bible says that the only time the two of you can stay away from sex is when the two of you agree to fast. Meaning that if the husband is fasting and the wife is not fasting, when the wife wants to have sex with the husband has to give it, because he says when the two of you agree that because you want to pray and fast, you want to stay away from sex, then you can. And even the Bible says that as soon as you finish, you should resume to your sexual life so that you are not tempted. So there's no way, it's not biblical, and it's not even right for you to deny your spouse sex as a punishment. It's wrong. Please, those of the ladies who do it, or those of the young men who do it to their wife, it's wrong, and God does not approve of that. Thank you. Oh, okay, I get you now. Yes, I don't know if you listened to the audio I sent earlier. I made mention of the fact that in communication we don't assume for people, so that when somebody is talking, you don't allow the person to land, then you try to end for the person. Meanwhile, you are not in the person's mind, you are not in the person's head. You don't know what the person is going to. So many a times you say to the person, if you had waited a little, you would have gotten what I wanted to say. This is not what I meant. So it's wrong for you to be concluding people's, messages for them, or taking the words out of their mouth, and then controlling conversations without paying attention and listening. That is why I took my time to go through the listening skills. That in listening, you have to pay attention, you have to give the full attention to your spouse. I don't know if you went through the audio, but then if you go through there, you see that all those things are there. Although we didn't finish, I hope our next session will end it, or then you get what I really wanted to carry up. But then it is wrong. You don't assume for people. It is very wrong to assume for people, because you are not in the person's mind and you don't know what the person wants to say. But that's the problem with us down here in Ghana. we are always assuming things for people. So at the end of the day, we get it wrong, and it brings about misunderstanding and conflict. Thank you. Under normal circumstances, it's wrong. When there's a conflict between spouses, you try as much as possible to resolve your own conflict. He has his own problems. If you have to be taking your issues to a third person here and there, it brings a lot of problems. So as much as possible, you need to handle it among the two of you. It is in worst case scenarios that when the two of you have done it and you can't handle, then you look for a third person. And even looking for a third person has a whole process you have to go through. First, you have to find out if the person you are taking to is a God-fearing, he has a whole way. So as much as possible, try to resolve your own issues. But then if you can't resolve and you have to turn to someone else or a third person, there are things that you have to look out for. There are questions you have to answer before you take it to the third person. Thank you. In such instances, it's not easy, but then you have to continue doing it. But then, like I said, when we study the temperament, personality, all these things will come out, and then the techniques of handling, we will look at it. Okay, because if I divert into that, we will not, because I've seen there are lots of questions down there, I have to look at it. But then, for now, you continue checking on the person. But then when we study, you will understand why the person is behaving the way he or she is behaving. And then you have a way of working on him so that he or she will also learn to check on you. And I tell you, it will not be something that will take over one night, because personality one form is very difficult coming out of it. So it takes time. So you need a lot of patience to go through such a relationship. Thank you. As for the communication skills, we have just started. So let's complete. By the time we finish by the second section, you'll be able to get all the techniques you need. Thank you. So if I may ask, when you shut your phone on her or you stop calling her, has it really changed that attitude? Answer so that I'll be able to help you. Thank you. So you see, you might think that the person really doesn't care, but that may not be the issue. That may not be the issue, because sometimes the person's upbringing, the things the person has gone through in life, I told you about personality, experiences he has gone through. Maybe you are not the first person the person is going out with, or he has gone out with, or he has gone and he has learned certain experiences, and he has been able, that has shut him into his shell. So it takes you to bring him out of that, him or her out of that shell. That's why I said we shouldn't be assuming things, because we shouldn't be assuming things for you to think that that is how the person is. He doesn't really care. Or the person cares, but he doesn't know how to do it. It's just like marrying somebody whose home there's nothing like birthday celebrations. So for them, when is your birthday? Nobody even remember. And so the person himself does not even remember. And you are coming from a home where, when is your birthday, even the night before your parcel is bought, you wake up and then your birthday card is on your table or wherever, or in the dining hall, and everybody is celebrating around you. And then you go and marry this man or this woman who doesn't know anything about birthday. And then you marry such a person, you always expect to say, do a wood die. Nipano, say happy birthday, pokeke. On the mouth, she crown say. It doesn't come automatic. So the person will not even remember. Then you get angry with the person and say, oh, my birthday crown me, 1 year she. He doesn't even see the essence of that birthday at the end. So it needs education. You have to teach the person. And there's a way you do it. But if you don't do it well, you get on the nerve of the person, and the person will not even look at it. He will not even mind. So there's a nice way of doing it, so that you draw the person into it gradually, and the person will buy into it, and you start doing it. I don't know if I've answered your question. Thank you. In conflict resolution and management, that does not work. That is one approach. I told you that some people have their own approach to resolving conflict, or a style, we call it styles of handling conflict. And so this is one of the approach, the withdrawal approach, which does not help in conflict resolution. No. It's wrong. It doesn't really help. And so like you said, that almost all your questions are topics. We'll look at conflict too, maybe when time permits us. So I would say that no, it doesn't work like that. Thank you. I would say yes, because it's very, very, very important. You see, when you know somebody, you see, in our daily, let me speak this and I'll take it to. In our normal life, there are times that somebody does something to you and you are so hurt and you are so mad at the person, you want to, face the person's question, and then somebody comes and say, oh, don't you know Ajwa? As for Ajwa, that's how she is, so don't mind. Don't even worry, don't waste your energy about Ajwa. That's how she is. Don't mind. When we say all of a sudden, now we say more cry, then you are like, oh, then why am I even worrying myself? Then you just let it go. But then if you don't really know that that's how the person is, you don't understand, then you carry it on you, and you are trying to find reasons or answers to why the person should behave the way he or she behaves towards you. And you are so mad and you don't even know what to do. But the moment you get to know that, oh, this person, that's how you don't mind it, don't even take it serious. You see that all the anger and everything will vanish. And it's also our real say, that's why we need to treat this topic. Anybody that goes to marry, you should know the personality temperament of your spouse before you even get to marry the person, so that when the person is behaving in a certain manner, you know why the person, oh, Janus, waiting or yes, and to the Jan. You see, but if you don't understand, you always have problems, because you are always trying to find answers to why the person is behaving the way he's not behaving, and then you'll be assuming and reading meanings into why maybe all the meanings you are reading it's not the case, but the person is just that because that is how the person is. So temperament is very, very important, and if we really study it and we understand it, we'll be able to live at peace with every human being, no matter who the person is. And if you're able to understand people and appreciate them, and then so when they are communicating to you, you understand them from their own point of view, and then you'll be able to also contribute. So when you are able to do that, then your marriage will bond. And so you see that something that somebody will go and say in her marriage, and it will bring about conflict and to bring about misunderstanding, you will say it freely, and the two of you will go and nobody will have any problem. So proper study of when you really understand personality temperament, it really makes your marriage bond. Aside the prayers and all the other things that brings marriage and brings the bond. Thank you. No. The person can never be busy, sir. You see, no matter how busy you are, we always find time for things that we love. So even though, in spite of our busy schedules, because we think this talk will be important for us, we put all our schedules aside. It is true that the COVID-19 has come and then, so we are not working but still we have other things to do. But because we appreciate or we think that we'll get something out of this topic, or we love what we are doing, we stop whatever we are doing and we are here. So anything you love and appreciate, you always create time for that thing. So in the same way, if you have a relationship or you are married, you should be able to make time for your. So can you tell me that you are so busy, you are working, and so you don't have time for, if the president or somebody should call you to have an appointment with the person, would you stop whatever you are doing and go and meet the person? Or your superintendent, or in anything, anybody important in your life calls you, you always put whatever you are doing aside. So in the same vein, you should be able to make time. I always say make time. We can create time if you want to. Make time if you want to build your relationship. Nobody will build your relationship for you. Marriage is work. The wedding, the don't do, and it's just an event. But the marriage itself is work. So we have to put effort. We have to bring effort. So we need to create time for our spouses and our partners. Thank you. Our backgrounds, with respect to where we are coming from, our aspirations and beliefs, our educational level, all those things are very crucial as far as marriage is concerned. Because where we are coming from, we all have our perspectives about issues. We have the way we think and we have the way we see things. And your spouse coming from another background will also have their way of doing things. I'll just use a simple analogy or illustration. Way back in the university, for me, a typical fancy, when we are preparing granite soup, we fry the granite paste with tomato paste before we use it for the soup. So that was the only method I know as far as the preparation of granite soup is concerned. So when we went to the university, one Saturday we said we wanted to pound fufu. And usually when we want to pound fufu, I always offer to prepare the soup, and then my colleagues will also do the pounding because I didn't like pounding fufu. So they will do the pounding and then we'll all eat. So one day, one lady said, she will prepare the soup. I said, fine. Then she went ahead preparing. So I went to my room and I came. When I came, I saw the soup boiling, as if it was soapy. I mean, it has some, I don't know how to describe that soup as a salmon group. And when you this is salmon, and I said, what is this? And I said, but is it not the granite? I said, granite soup. Is that how to prepare? And I started shouting because I was so ignorant. You see, I didn't wait to allow the person to explain. I showed my ignorance. I was just shouting that and then the person got offended. Then one of my colleagues there said, Irene, but what is your problem? So we have two ways of preparing granite. You people will fry the granite paste, but some of us, we don't fry, we just mix it and add it, and that is how it comes. By the end of the day, they all come out nice and it's granite. So I say, then I don't know, I'm sorry. You see, so if I'm in a relationship, so fancy you are married to a fancy man or a fancy woman. Let me use the man because it's the women who normally do the cooking, though the men also help. And you are married a fancy man, and then you are cooking granite soup, and he comes and your granite soup, and that is all that he knows. That mame oche and katia na ansana wa dia yonkwan. No be ba na nkwan ni root is say me root say. Obi ka say woni mo nkwan. Meanwhile so na enye sa na tie. So it's the way where we are coming from. That is why when we are marrying somebody from a different culture or from a different background, you need to study the person's background and understand the person's background. It is also incumbent on the person to also study your background so that at the end of the day, you understand why the people do what they do, and you also understand why you do what you do, so that there wouldn't be any conflict. So right from the go, you are building a relationship on understanding. Thank you. Hello, this issue is interesting. I believe that among thousands of men and women in the world, you decided to choose that particular person. And so, whatever it is that you see in other women or men that you appreciate so much, you also, nothing stops you from putting that thing on that wife or husband of yours. And the ladies, many of you, before you say I do, you always keep yourself neat, smart and tidy. As soon as you are married, you think that once you are married, you can live anyhow. So, I'm going to jam on Basa. Emma need no for cry, Befia, no fear, my bacrana, or who crana, a conobi any ho. Timid Emmanuel, Semunia check how one you know warrior. Said the Abemanu whom what or see pay or baby warrior, but I'll keep those things. But those things are the things that will spice the marriage. Because there was something the person saw in you before he came to marry you. So that they will stop looking left and right. They will focus on you alone. So please, keep yourself. They be out to neat. What I wish you will be decent. And can say it should be expensive, but it should be just neat and presentable. And engage our home basa. Keep yourself, keep your figure. Okay, you can do it. It's not expensive. You can do it. So you have to. Don't say that one worry maybe you want to make away with. Then you just leave yourself to demo basa. Please. And then Emmanuel. Some of say a man be shabby dinner a young fair. To be my no share any of the now to me, Unamana, you can perform. So, we share designer and tire, my also share designer and tire. Then every alcohol will be the end of it. Now, when you question to Mr. Won't say the more, or Bema says you will not, or you so say Bema. Please, that shouldn't be the case, because the moment you do that, you bring enviness and jealousy and things. Because it's so strange, there are some men or women who cannot even communicate with their spouses in the house, but when they meet their friends at work, or sometimes they will be working with their spouse, and then they meet their friend, the way they talk, then the spouse is like, hey, so does my wife or husband know how to talk like this? And in the house, he doesn't even talk. He doesn't even have time for us to share. And that is the reason why we are learning these communication. I don't know if you really listen to the tape, but please, if you didn't, please find time and listen, so that if later when you listen and you have any issue, you can PM me. I don't have a problem with that. But please find time and listen to the audio. And in our next session, we'll continue with the other things that you need to know, so that by the end, by the time we finish with this topic, you'll be able to appreciate your spouses as far as communication is concerned, and you will do proper communication, and then some of these challenges will be resolved. Thank you. Also, from the audio I said that communication is the brain of marriage, and it's very, very important. Or if I'm in a relationship with you and I can't even communicate with you, then why would I stay in that relationship? I will go and look for another person who will make me, because human beings naturally are social beings, and that is why God said everything he created was good, but the only thing that was not good was that man would live alone, because he needed somebody, a companion, somebody he can share with. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even think of marrying or going for a relationship, because you have your parents, your father and mother, your siblings there to communicate with. But then there are certain things that you want to share with somebody other than your parents, and that is why you are going into a relationship which will end in marriage, so that you can confine in that person. So if I can't confine in you and I can't talk to you anytime I want to communicate, then it is or where, then why would I hang on there? I would definitely leave and go and look for somebody who can communicate better. So that is why this topic is very important. Take it serious. After reading whatever, you can even read online and read elsewhere to augment it. Look for any good book on marriage or in relationship and read. And it's very, very important to have proper communication skills. If you have proper communication skills, you can go places. And that's why people who communicate well are always finding themselves in higher places. And the same way, if you communicate well, you have better relationship with your spouse or your partner, your would-be husband or wife. Thank you. See, communication, like I said, is a two-way affair. So if one is communicating and the other is not communicating, it doesn't make the process flow. So there will be a barrier along the line. I think we got to the barrier to verbal communication and then we ended. And so in our next session, we will take them one after the other. We'll look at the barriers. So when we see the barriers, then we'll look at what we can do to, take off those barriers so we can have a free communication flow. That's why I keep on saying that please listen to the audio. And then, I don't know, maybe next week we'll do the final section, and then we'll be able to get it better. Thank you. You see, there's nobody that can change anybody's behavior. We can't change anybody. So, you can't change anybody because one, you are not the person who created the person. It is the creator or an inventor of a product that has the blueprint and can tamper with it. So since you didn't create any human being, you can't change anybody. The only time you'll be able to help somebody change, listen to my words carefully, the only time you'll be able to help somebody change is when the person himself or herself finds out that he or she has a problem with that particular behavior or character, and he is willing to change, then you can help the person to change. But as far as the person doesn't see anything wrong with that behavior or character, and that is what brings about nagging. Because he will keep on showing that character. You talk about it, you say you will change, but every day you will go back because it's his personality. It is part of the person. And so you'll be doing the same thing over and over. You'll be talking. Last week you did this thing. I said, you say you are sorry, but today it will happen. And so for me, my little counsel, when I'm counseling people, I tell them that when you meet someone in a relationship and there's something about the person, a behavior the person has that you cannot stand, then you better call that relationship quits. Because if you go in with the intention that when you marry the person you change, you can't change anybody because you didn't create the person in the first place, so you can't change that person. So then if you don't take care, you get hypertension and die and leave the person. Haven't you seen women and men and women who have married people and they are like, when I was going to marry, I knew he has this character, but I know with my prayers and things I'm just I can change the person. And they are in the prayer camps praying for their husbands and their spouses, and the more they pray, the more the people behave the way they behave. So it's two things. Either you let the person go or you stick. But when you stay with the person, you just have to ignore that person and adjust and learn to accommodate the person. So you have your peace. Otherwise, if you talk about it, then you will die. You get hypertension and die and live. So you can't change anybody, my dear. Thank you. I asked that question because I believe that is not the way to go about it. Because if you shut the phone on the person and it has not changed and the person is still doing, then it means that your way of handling the problem is not effective. So you've not been able to achieve your target. You have to sit the person down and talk to the person and find out why the person behaves the way he or she behaves. Okay? If you find out why the person behaves, then you'll be able to resolve it properly. But if the person does not do the things he promised to do and then you shut the phone, then you are rather hardening the person, because we have something we call defense mechanism in psychology. So if I know that is what you do, I'll do it and then you do your ways and then that's it. Okay, so that is not the, unless if you see that it has been changed, then fine, because every individual has his own way of adapting to situations. So if it has not changed the issue, then you have to change your strategy. For that will not work. You really have to talk. It's all about communication. Find out why the person is behaving the way he is behaving or she is behaving, and then from there you can pick it from there. Thank you. In the first place, let me know whether the person is your wife or because you said partner, so is it your spouse or somebody you are just going out with, trying to see if you can marry that person? Let me get that one clear before. If the person is fluent but slow, then that's good. So you can pep the person up, okay? You see, when we live together for long, if you are fluent but or you're slow, until you engage the person in activities that will let the person talk. You engage, you can just bring a diagram and, what do you see on this diagram? I mean, when you are relaxed, you can just take a man, what can you say about this story? You can bring interesting things. And normally when you want to get people, you really have to look at their interests. So as you live with your spouse, you see, most of us, we are so busy about our daily, as we don't even take the interest of our spouses at heart. Because honestly, so if I'm fluent but slow, and then you bring an issue or topic that I'm not interested in, definitely I will be very slow, even maybe slower. But when you bring something, a topic or an issue that falls within my interest, you will boost my morale and I'll speak to that issue. And then so gradually you see that the person will be building up. So like I said, we all have our differences, but then we can help each other. Enhance. We can help each other to enhance their weaknesses. Our weaknesses, okay. So if the person is fluent, that's brilliant. You only have to pep the person up, looking at where the person's interest is, tapping on that area, and then helping the person come up, and then you enjoy your communication flow with the person. Thank you. Okay, so his communication, him or her, the person's communication is not deep, but shallow. Yeah, it's the same thing. For all you know, the person is not interested in what you are talking, because we all have our different interests, okay? Based on our background, our experiences in life, our educational level, our age difference and all that, okay? So if you really want to get people talking deeper into things, you bring things that concern the people. And as you do that, gradually you get the person getting into deeper conversation with you. And so it will get to a point when you are even talking about things that does not interest them, they will communicate deep. Okay, so it's all about the subject matter sometimes and the line of interest, which is very, very important. So in communication, that's because we said communication has 5 channels. We have the sender, the medium, and the message. So the message you are carrying across, that's why I said you have to weigh your message, have a mental picture of your message. Make sure the message is interesting, something that will sustain the person in the conversation. Okay, so I believe when you're able to do some of these simple these skills, you put these skills into practice, you'll be able to get your spouse into deeper conversations. Thank you. Yeah, I can appreciate your concern. You have to work on him, because the person it borders on a number of factors, and so you really have to get him into it. So it's all about education. Maybe after this section we can talk, okay, and find a way of helping him to appreciate some of these things. And normally, like I said, it takes some time, but then still it's workable. Thank you. Oh yes, I don't expect you to agree with me on everything I say, because you see, we are dealing with human beings, and human beings are very complex beings. So we'll have a general thing that will go for all of us, but then there may be 1 or 2 people who it may not be applicable to. So definitely, hey, I'm cool with that. Yeah, but then no matter what, everybody has a soft spot. So that is why when you marry somebody, or even before you say I do to that person, you have to reach out to those soft spots that you can hit and get the person. So every human, no matter how hard the person may be, there's a soft spot somewhere that you can tap into to be able to turn things around. Thank you. Like I said in our last section, it's very, very important, even before you think of the moment you start thinking of selecting a life partner, which I said from the beginning, shopping for a life partner, and people raise some concern about. When your mind is, you are trying to settle on a particular person. That's why we said from our previous section, we looked at premarital counseling. I was placing a lot of emphasis on the pre-selection. It's very, very, very important. If during the pre-selection you consulted and did it very well, some of these things you will not even go through them. If you do the pre-selection and do it well, by many a times, what we see in the church is that we do the post-selection counseling. You go and make your own selection, and then you bring it for us to counsel you. But the counseling should have been part of the pre-selection. Whilst you were selecting, you consult so that you are guided. Okay, you are guided. So if you see somebody and you pre-consult, and then the counselor will open things up to you for you to look at. We have some certain things we call red flags in marriage, so that when you see some of these red flags, you just you advise yourself. You don't put your head into them. So pre-marital counseling is very, very important, especially the pre-selection counseling is very, very important. Please don't joke with them. Otherwise, you pay for it dearly, very expensive. It will be very expensive for you. Thank you. My dear, marriage is not scareful. It's beautiful. Marriage is so beautiful. If you do your selection well, and by the grace, with your prayer and with consultation, you get the right selection done, and you go through the premarital or the post-counseling selection too, and you do it well, and with prayers and love for one and respect for one another, you enjoy it. It's so beautiful. But if you don't go about it well, that is where it becomes scary. So I will encourage, it's a beautiful thing. Otherwise, God wouldn't have instituted it. It's beautiful. If you do it well, you will enjoy for the rest of your life. But then if you take it for a joke and you don't handle it well, then it can destroy your life as well. That's a little I'll say about that. Marriage is beautiful and it's an honorable thing. But please take time, because most of you, all you think about is the event, the wedding, which is just an event, an aspect of the whole thing. The marriage itself goes beyond the event. And so I will encourage you to put more effort in the event and spend money on your marriage. When I say spend money, consult, because as I said, at the end of the day, it will be expensive than consulting to get the necessary counsel as far as selection and all those things are concerned. Okay, so it's beautiful. Don't get scared. Right? It's so lovely, and I wish you a beautiful one when you are ready. Thank you. As for the misunderstanding, they will come, because even among your siblings, don't you get misunderstandings? You and your parents, don't you get misunderstandings? But you're able to manage and handle it. So in the same way, don't you get misunderstanding with your friends, your best friends, but you're able to manage it, and then you are good to go. So that is why in marriage, communication is very important, because when your spouse is your very good friend, you find it difficult hurting that person. Because for companionship and friendship, it has to be with being there for one another. So once you start on that note, where you see your spouse as your companion, a friend, you always treat the person with dignity, and the person will also treat you with dignity and respect. So misunderstanding will come, but then it will not kill the spirit of the marriage. It will not destroy the marriage. You just resolve and then move on, because you have best friends. Don't you have misunderstandings with them? But then you are able to move on. So that kind of spirit is what we expect you to have in your marriage, and then you are good to go. So don't be scared. Marriage is beautiful, like I said. It's very, very beautiful, and it's honorable. It's God who instituted it, and everything God instituted is good. There's nothing about it that is bad. But we, the individuals that get into it, we make it look the way it looks. That is why we need all this education, and it's very important. Please try to read about marriage. Get good Christian literature on marriage and read books and read. When you hear that there's any marriage talk or any marriage seminar somewhere, whether you are married or not, please go and listen to educate yourself, so that as you try to, those of you who are not married, when you try to look out for or shop for life partners, you'll be able to, with the help of God and with all those knowledge that you acquire, you'll be able to make the right. Of course, you won't. There's nothing like Mr. Perfect or Mr. Right, but then at least you'll be able to get something that will be will make your marriage work. And so those of you who just join us, you can consult Cosmos. He will let you have the audio of our premarital section, so you can listen to it, and maybe it can help you, those who are not married. And those who are already married, these little teething problems can be resolved. So please don't sit on it for it to become a big issue. Some of the issues that we've raised, they can all be addressed, and then the marriage will move on. So please seek consultation. Go back to your marriage counselors, those who counsel you for marriage, or if you can't go back to them or you can't have access to them, you can consult any counseling psychologist, and the person will help you. And then you enjoy your marriage as God instituted it to be. Thank you. Hey, let him feel free. Man, in free. Let them feel free. Enye brofo ni eba besua ye ba se ye be che ye be tia adwen enti kasa bia ye ka wa ha next time cry den kra be fra ne de e be so afra. Bye bye.
Hello, we be she nyina oh yanko fonism Ebenezer. I've been following steadily the topic. Auntie Irene, I'm so grateful. I know those who are married on the platform, this is more or less revision, right? It's revision because when you go for premarital counseling, most of these things are taught, or you discuss most of these things. Unfortunately, I know most of the counselors at church, we don't normally do post-counseling. after the event has happened and you've gone in and then started. I, for instance, will meet you at church and I'll tell you, hey, you need to write my first day at school. We need to write, you need to write an essay for me. And just that, I don't even collect that essay. I don't even call you back to that, which I think we are lacking. But Irene has spoken a lot, and I think you should take them in good faith. There's one person who said she's even scared, or he's scared about marriage. You can't be scared about it. Aryee, it is God's own institution. God started. It's something that they give you the certificate before you even start the exams. You understand me? And see, you don't need to scare about anything. Mama, it's never true. If people can live together for 50 years, for 35 years, you name them, you and still counting, you can also start. It is all by faith in Christ. Have faith in Christ. The unknown, you will never know. Nyankopon inodoroko, nodua afum. You understand me? And say, my instru bibia. And say, Irene, I think when we come out of this lockdown, we need to see ourselves so that we can have classes, just as we have the classes for the local preachers, so that we take the topics one after the other, maybe 3 topics in a week. Then you have periods. First period we have maybe communication, and then second period we have social topics, or maybe we talk about personality, we talk about temperaments, and so many topics that we can talk about in a day. Then the following week you take another one, because for just 2 hours to treat this broad area communication, wow. I know we can go far. It's not one person's work. And as you said, we have Sofpinin, Aryee there, Sofo, Tete, I know, but Odami too is there. There are people out there on this platform. I think their marriages are going on well. So those that are going on well, can they also share? How did they come out of that? The bad ones. You know, especially in the first year in your marriage, I know, I always call it friction. You are coming from different angles. And normally, when they come, I tell them that, look, this marriage is made up of 8 families. We have you, the man, having 4, and the woman also having 4. Because you, the man, you were born, your daddy has 2, and your mother has 2. And then your woman too, the daddy has 2, and then the mother also has 2. So if you put them together, there are 8. You are bringing 8 families together. And so it's not an easy role. The differences are too many. But then, with Christ in your vessel, you smile at the storm. Go with the hope that you are relying solely on Christ Jesus. And I know it will go well for you. But then look at the tongue and then the teeth. Teeth, no, I can't tongue and amoba. But have you ever seen the tongue coming out of the mouth? They don't. They stay in there. Then you continue. Do you know alasa? I don't know the English name for alasa. It's sometimes you start chewing and then it's a bit sour, and then along the line becomes tasty. That is how it is. But you are able to manage. And that is how it should be. The beauty of it is that you come out and everybody say, hey, Charlie, now worry now for you. No, they don't know the effort that you have put in to make it work like that. So work your marriage out and it will be well. Thank you so much. We'll talk later.
Good evening, Ebenezer Youth Fellowship members. I've been following what is going on and I'm so happy. God bless you for this and the interactions and then the wonderful messages you have been receiving from Auntie Aryee. I've been scheduled to be on a program with you on Monday, but I'm only trying to call in and then congratulate you on what is happening. God richly bless you. Let us keep together. Let us continue to pray for one another. And let us obey the simple rules they have given us. I know who you are. I know that you are people of value. And I know God will continue to preserve our lives and protect us from harm and danger. God bless you. I'm also reminding you that you can join us for service tomorrow in the evening on Oman FM, 107.1 FM. And that will be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us. That is a second program. We have been on for 4 weeks now. The bishop began it. Very Reverend Professor Kem continued it. Last week it was Very Reverend James E.B. Van Dyke who took it. And this Sunday I'll be on. I pray that you all tune in. And I know it will be a blessing to you, all of you. God richly bless you. Amen.